Aha! I made it! 3 streams for the week. Huzzah! Hooray! There aren't going to be any streams next week, but don't worry, there will be streams after that. But I wanted to make sure I did the 3 streams this week and the Ms. Marvel watch-along this morning so that we were all good, and then they will pick up the week after, because next week's 4th of July here in the United States. So I just wanted to give you a heads up on that. Sean Malia, welcome back. Let's see here. Thanks for joining, Jacob. If you join during a live stream, I shall give you a shout out right away. Otherwise, I will do shout outs at the very, very end of the live stream. Oh, Brody, I'm sorry to hear you have COVID, but I'm glad you're taking care of yourself. The Ms. Marvel breakdown will go up later today. Hey, Jeffrey Green. I went back to sleep because I was so tired and nothing happened during the episode. So I've filmed the Ms. Marvel breakdown. I've turned it into a little bit of a critique about what's going on with Disney Plus shows. So that will go up after this stream. But I promised an earlier stream today. So I wanted to make sure that, that's right, Desert Night. I wanted to make sure I had a live stream earlier in the day so that other people could join. Jack, as for your Dr. Doom question, I'm looking into it with my sources. Hey, Christian, I don't know if it's true. I think it's very unlikely that it's true, or if it's for something small. I think that it would just be ridiculous to have Howard Stern as the main Dr. Doom. I heard maybe it might be a podcast, or it might be like maybe a what if. But I think that it just doesn't make any sense. So I wouldn't be surprised if Howard Stern did it intentionally for publicity, quite frankly, to get everybody talking about him and maybe to kind of like take the conversation away from his political statements the day before. So, I mean, I just think it just doesn't make any sense. Howard Stern isn't an actor, and Dr. Doom is going to be a really important character for the MCU. So to me, it just is senseless. But we never know for sure. That's why I'm having some people look into it. Mika says, how does Howard Stern need publicity? Not publicity. I think he needs to change the conversation from the very strong political comments that he made the other day about Roe v. Wade and that he might run for president. And I think there's a chance he might have was just looking to change the conversation. No, I did not find Itzante. Itzante did not message me. Hey, Charlie Harlot, if you're Itzante, I found Itzante's YouTube page, but I can't find a way to message them. So Itzante, please DM me over on Twitter. I'd like to thank you for all the memberships that you gifted yesterday. All right, so we have very good stories to discuss today. You can ask me anything that you would like for the final 10 minutes of the stream. That's funny, Dancing Dog 60. Howard Stern claimed that he was going to be Scarecrow. Yeah, Howard Stern's just all over the place. And then also I'll do shout outs at the very, very end of the video. Okay, so let's get started. We have a lot to talk about. Oh, Charlie, welcome back, Charlie. All right, so story number 1. Hold on. Boop. Bob Chapek. Bob Chapek not only got his contract renewed, but for 3 more years. He ain't going nowhere. He has been at the company for a very long time. He was previously the head of the Parks Experiences division. That's funny, Cameron. And I got to tell you, people weren't too happy with him. Fans weren't too happy with him in that department either. So they were very surprised that he was promoted. Now let's just take a moment to look at Bob Chapek's greatest hits in the few years that he has had the job. In addition to Bob Iger becoming to hate him. So he had the Scarlett Johansson situation blow up in his face, as you might recall. He introduced Genie Plus and a lot of problems with the parks overall, like needing a reservation. Redoing the hotels, with a lot of people being unhappy with the way they've been redone. Then his bungling of how he handled the Don't Say Gay bill situation, where he pretty much got everybody angry with him on both sides. Lightyear recently tanked, and the stock has been going up and down. It's just been an absolute roller coaster, and right now it's real down. And I would have thought that would have been really bad for him, that the stock was so low. And some people have surmised that perhaps they felt that the stock would go even lower if Bob Chapek was fired. So they felt that, it would at least make the company seem it would have some stability. So that's why, I don't think that's true. We'll talk about Peter Rice in a moment, Mika. So anyway, lots of problems. But as one of you just pointed out, Disney Plus is doing extremely well. Disney Plus is raking in all kinds of cash and is actually catching up to Netflix in terms of subscribers. But that was not Bob Chapek's idea. Bob Iger put that into effect. And Bob Chapek is just, having it run on autopilot, quite frankly. And I think there are problems for Disney Plus ahead, as you'll see with my video later today about the problems some of their shows are starting to have. And Lightyear was, I think I mentioned that, Lightyear was a total colossal failure. And I think it's not only hurt the company, but particularly Pixar. So real problems over there. He is quite disliked by consumers. However, I think he seems to be very good at networking, and I think everyone at the company seems to like Bob Chapek. So I think he's good at networking where it counts. So he's got 3 more years, and this is very similar to Kathleen Kennedy's recent renewal, where she got 3 more years. Also to everyone's shock, because the fans are so, it's just, I think, goes to show a little bit of disdain to the fandom, that suits don't really care about how fandoms feel. Fandoms are like, we're just so unhappy. And I think that the fact that there is nothing done to recognize that, but yet, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been to Disney World in a while, and I hope maybe I can see myself going there next year. Star Wars has suffered, and I think the only reason that Star Wars is doing well now is because Favreau and Filoni have taken in and had such ownership. But Kathleen Kennedy's still the head of everything. Now, of course, there were some whispers that Peter Rice might take over, because you would say, is this a similar situation where no one wants the job, or it's hard to find someone who could handle the job? But you're like, no, Peter Rice was sitting right there. But Peter Rice, interestingly, came over from Fox and then was promoted to head up all of Disney Television, where he was much beloved, to the point that Bob Chapek, just a month or so ago, fired him because he was concerned that Peter Rice might take over for him. And it turned out that was a real good idea. I don't think J.J. Abrams is very good. Yap Dem says, what about J.J. Abrams? No, I think J.J. Abrams is a bad idea. As you can see by how he's done absolutely nothing for DC over at Warner Brothers, even though they gave him an absolutely huge deal over there. Raphael says that problems with the fans is that the fans can sometimes have bottomless demands. I don't think that's true. I can see maybe where you're coming from, but I don't think that's true. I think that fans, want consistency, and I think you have to be, I think Kevin Feige, although even Kevin Feige is running into some problems now, but for the most part, Kevin Feige has really understood that. But yeah, so Bob Chapek was right to get rid of Peter Rice, because it worked. He got renewed for 3 more years. This is also a real slap in the face to Bob Iger, who Bob Iger put Bob Chapek in there. So remember, Bob Iger could still be somewhat involved creatively. And so he picked somebody who was more business-minded so that they could both have the job. And I think he should have instead picked the better replacement. But he didn't. And of course, as I just pointed out, Peter Rice came from Fox. So Peter Rice was pretty new to the corporate culture over there, whereas Chapek has been there for a very long time, again, coming up through Disney. Aaliyah, you might have pointed out that the board was supportive of what Bob Chapek has done and his firing of Rice, but that, again, is my pointing out that Bob Chapek has made a point to make very good friends with the board. The board likes Bob Chapek, and that's why Bob Chapek was so clever to make sure that if anyone was to like him, it would be the board. I wish he would work harder to have the fans like him, because I think that a lot of the changes he's made to the park have really taken out. I think that Bob Chapek is very concerned about making money for Disney, although with the stock down, he's not. But I think a lot of the Disney magic is being taken away. And then then you just turn it into any other company. And I think that's very scary. As a big Disney fan, to me it feels different. To me, the company's priorities feel different. And I think that's really a problem. I do think that, the pandemic, of course, is a problem, and I think that Bob Chapek has to some degree navigated that very well, but I think you just can't overlook how unhappy everybody is with him outside of the company. And so we'll see. 3 more years just means there's nothing you can do about it. There's just nothing you can do about it. And we'll see if the park experience continues to degrade. And if Disney continues to be surrounded by controversy, Disney has never had to deal with controversy. And now they find themselves in the middle of it all the time. So we'll see what they decide to do. I think it's baffling. But, you know, you have to tip your hat to Chapek, who was able to get 3 more years, even though I would think almost everybody who is a fan of Disney would feel that he has not done a good job. Is anybody here happy with the job that Bob Chapek has done running the company? Yeah. Although Sir Charles is indifferent. Trisha, what is the Baymax controversy? I have not seen it. Ivan's like, it's not terrible. Aaliyah, you would really give him an A-? Aaliyah, you must not go to the parks if you would give him an A-. Because I think that the parks are just really a disaster. I would almost go to say that he's ruined the parks, to be honest with you. But if you don't go to the parks, then you won't probably feel it as much. Oh, Barbie Minaj says there's a trans character on Baymax. I haven't seen the episode, so I can't comment on it. Pixar is taking a very strong stand, and we'll see how it works out for them. Pixar is being extremely aggressive. And I think they have to remember that at the end of the day, the United States is a moderate country. Hey, Scottish boy. Hey, movies can Giovanni. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, and the Star Wars experience was a horrible failure, but I think everybody knew that was a failure going forward. All right, so we'll see what happens. All right, so that's the first story of the day. It's a little hard to even know what to say because it just seems such a problem. All right, so that's story number 1. Story number 2, hold on. Boop, Barbie. Come on, Barbie, let's go party, that they're not using for the movie, even though that's the song, that's the saying everybody's using to promote this movie, which is quite popular on social media. Although I do like what people are tweeting where they have pictures of people and they say, so-and-so many tickets to Barbie, please. And I think that's very funny. Margot Robbie does look absolutely fantastic as Barbie. I think her hair looks fantastic. I love her hair. I think she looks so great. She looks so much like a Barbie doll. And I think that while Ryan Gosling does look a little older, I think that he looks like a lot of fun as Ken. Although he does look very much like Barbie's best friend who's gay rather than her boyfriend. But that's fun too. I would be fine. I would be totally fine with that if that's how they decided to play it. But I think that it looks very funny. I think that the outfits are fantastic, from the cowboy outfit to this new rollerblading outfit. I think they have to be a little bit careful that they have they're leaking a lot of stuff from the movie, a little bit too much, I think. Although we haven't really seen any of the other characters. We just got to look at Will Ferrell there, who I love that he has a Barbie pink tie. I wonder if he's a Mattel executive and he seems to be rollerblading after Barbie and Ken. I think that's a lot of fun, but we haven't seen the other Barbies and Kens. And so I hope they're able to keep that a secret until they have the actual first trailer. That looks really, so I hope there are some surprises. But I also included this really funny picture of Haley Steinfeld in her cameo because she totally looks like how a child would dress a Barbie doll with a chiffon dress, see-through dress, and then like a big knit sweater over that. I think that's just so funny. I think that's just perfect. I really think that's funny. But the internet is going crazy over this movie, and I think it could be a really big hit. I don't know how all ages it is. I don't know how all ages this movie is going to be, but with adults, it could be huge. And if it has a mid-range budget, I think that would be it could end up doing quite well for Warner Brothers. It could become a new franchise. It looks very, very, very funny. It could be really big in merch. I could see a lot of people going as Barbie characters for Halloween. Someone mentioned Suicide Squad, Mika. That it could be like a fun Suicide Squad, but maybe works out this time, because I think that Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig, a real life couple and both very successful in the film industry, I don't think they're going to pull a David Ayer. I could have told you David Ayer was going to make a bad movie before we even saw it, because David Ayer has really never made a good movie, except, he wrote Training Day, and that's really it. Everything else, I think, has been extremely problematic. But Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach, I think, are great. I don't know if it's going to make $1 billion. I don't know about that. That seems like a bit much. I don't think it's a 4-quadrant film, but I think it's going to be maybe a 2-quadrant film. I think it's going to do quite well. But I don't think that you're going to be able to take children to see this movie from what we were seeing. But I think you should be able, I think hopefully every adult will go. So I think it looks like a lot of fun. And I'm very, very, very excited to see the trailer. I think the trailer is going to be such a big deal. I will do a breakdown of the Barbie trailer, because that's how big of a deal this is at this point. Because we've got to talk about all the hair and fashions. So I think it looks really great. But lots of leaks, but it does look very, very fun. Let's see here. So that's the second story of the day. Now we have one more story. Hold on. Boom, baby. All right, so getting some conversation about the next Bond movie. At a recent private event, Barbara Broccoli was there talking with her brother, Michael G. Wilson. That's them at the recent premiere for No Time to Die. And they were talking, people had questions about the next Bond movie. And Barbara Broccoli said it's at least 2 years away for production, which means 3 years away from release. And they said that the reason it's taking so long is that they are going to reinvent Bond from top to bottom. I'm a little nervous about that. Although when you think about Daniel Craig, he was a bit of a reinvention of Bond as well, because they went for a blue collar type instead of white collar, and it ended up working very well and making Bond very accessible. Now, I know a lot of you would like to see Henry Cavill in the role, and I think he would be great, but I think he's going to be too old by the time they get around to that. I'll be interested to see if they pick an actor of a different ethnicity, because there's been a lot of pushback for that. So, they'd have to do it just right. I still feel that upping the Felix character to being more of a co-lead or strong supporting, and that being an actor of color, is the better way to go for Bond, to make Bond a little bit more accessible. And I don't think he's going to be able to womanize quite as much. I think that he certainly can date a lot, but I think it can't be quite the level that it was, when Bond was at his heyday to some degree. I just hope, and I agree with many people, that I would like to see Bond going back to being more fun. And I think it would be better to have more standalone adventures. I think this Bond story being the same, like a continual story that's ongoing, doesn't really work. That Bond gets older, Bond has a midlife crisis, Bond meets the love of his life and settles down and has a child. Ain't nobody want to see that. Bond is supposed to just be a fantasy. And so I think that they need to, get back to that. And they have a lot more competition these days. A lot of people are doing their own Bonds. I think you can still make the character sexy, just as long as, the women are more actively involved. So I think it could work. I think it could definitely work. And I do think that so far, Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson have done a really good job keeping Bond alive for so long and the franchise going. So I think it could work. It would be great to maybe switch out Bond every movie. That would be fun, It would be a little bit like what Barbie's doing, having multiple Bonds. So let's just see. I think let's just see what they decide to do. It's very pivotal to get the script down first, and then I think they really need to get a very good director. And I thought Cary Fukunaga did a great job, but I thought Cary Fukunaga unfortunately had some very bad things said about him recently, and I don't know if he's hireable anymore. Sean, yes, Josh O'Connor was my pick as the new Bond from The Crown. I thought he would be fantastic, Josh O'Connor. I like him a lot for the choice. But I think that Bond is a character that's difficult to change in terms of gender and ethnicity. I think that Bond is very specific as to who Bond is, but that doesn't mean you can't really make strong changes of the characters around Bond. And I think that's something that that the Craig Bond movies were very good at. Having Q be gay, I thought worked out great. Moneypenny was a black actress. I thought it just worked out really well doing it that way. And again, I think One, I don't think that you need Bond to be a draw at the box office because Bond is the draw. I mean, Daniel Craig wasn't a draw when he was cast either. I don't think you need to worry about that. But Henry Cavill would be good. But again, I know you guys don't like to believe it, but you have to understand and you have to think to yourself, there must be a reason that no one will hire Henry Cavill. He has such a strong fan base online, yet not only will Warner Brothers not keep him as Superman, but no other studio is willing to invest in him. Isn't that odd? You have to think about that. Like, why won't nobody else hire him when I think he can really deliver a lot of times in the movies that he's in? So I think that's something to think about. Sir Charles, Netflix has a long history of hiring people that nobody else will. And that's it. But I think that the fact that, he was so good in Mission Impossible, it's very odd to me that nobody else picked him up. Unless, of course, and I've heard this from many people in the industry, he has a reputation of being difficult to work with. And he's done nothing to fix that reputation, unfortunately. All right, so we'll see what happens, but I don't think the next Bond will be Henry Cavill. Even though I do agree that if you were to take out the drama behind the scenes, I think Henry Cavill would have been an excellent James Bond. And in fact, he almost was James Bond because it was between him and Daniel Craig all that time ago for Casino Royale. They said that Henry Cavill wasn't muscular enough, and he went and fixed that, boy. He went and fixed that. I don't think Brett D., who just recently sided with Joss Whedon, that was Nathan Fillion. And I can't believe that he did that. Nathan Fillion said that he would work with Joss Whedon again in the blink of an eye. And that was a really tone-deaf thing to say. But Nathan Fillion doesn't work anyway, so I guess maybe he's hoping that Joss Whedon will hire him for something. Because I think Joss Whedon's the only one who ever hires Nathan Fillion, really. I guess he was on some network show recently. All right, so those are the 3 stories of the day. It's 3:08. You may ask me anything that you would like until 3:18. Sorry, my ear keeps getting clogged. Thanks, AJ Jones. I've gotten a lot of my tops from Shein, which is a company out of China, a fast fashion company. And I'm able to, because I want to change my shirts out a lot. And they're all like $10, $15. Like this was only like $10. And that way I can keep getting lots of shirts because I want to always make it very different on air. I want you guys to see new tops. Wes, as I said at the beginning of the stream, I do not believe that Dr. Doom thing is correct. I'm having some of my sources look into it. But I think that he was just trying to get people to talk about him. Trisha, the princess looks good to me, but I have to watch. I'm going to be all about Stranger Things on Friday, so I'm not going to be able to cover that. Again, because it's the holiday, I'm like doing a lot of videos in advance to get ready for the holiday, so I'm like extremely busy doing this week's and next week's videos all at once because I have some family commitments next week. Oh, Joshua, that's very sweet of you to say. I'm actually looking forward to Avatar. Every time I see the Avatar trailer, I'm like, that looks pretty good, especially when I see it in IMAX. Ivan, I can't do a Stranger Things watch along because that's 4 hours. That's a lot. And I really want to just be able to immerse myself in it. I thought about it, but that's like a long time to do a watch along. Hey, Francisco. Sam says, when do you think we will get a Barbie trailer? Maybe Comic-Con. But I could see, I could see it not being until like the holiday season, to be honest with you. Maybe in front of Avatar. Wanda the Witch says, Grace, who would you pick for Dr. Doom? Well, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Tom Cruise, but I also heard they were considering Michael Fassbender, who would be an incredible Doom. Elliot, I saw that Cameron Diaz is out of retirement, and good for her for trending. I think that a Jamie Foxx Netflix movie isn't that exciting, but I am still excited to see her again. Let's see here. Faisal, I will not be reviewing Minions: The Rise of Gru. I just don't have time this week. I'm sorry. I think after the holidays, I'll be able to get a little bit back on track. But I have, now that I cover streaming and movies, it's I can't cover everything in both spaces. Oh, Barbie, that's great about Halle Bailey teasing a first look at Little Mermaid. I still think it will be at D23, but it could be earlier. I'll look into that Little Mermaid tease and see when they might be dropping it. I reacted to the Hocus Pocus 2 trailer, Freedom Tompkins, and you can see my thoughts there. Sir Charles, I think that San Diego Comic-Con could be quite big because, Marvel's back, and so they'll come to play. Dancing Dog 60 says, what's the best comic you're reading right now? I really enjoy the new Fables. I'm glad that Fables is back. And also, I think that the Batman Catwoman finale, where Tom King finally had them get married after all, was pretty good. Thanks largely to Clayman's fantastic art. Brody Rule, there's no developments on Ezra Miller, which I think is a shame. I think that they should fire him. Wes, I am a little interested in Amazon's Paper Girls series, but I like that Ali Wong is in it. But I feel like it's too much like Stranger Things and a little bit too much like Yellow Jackets, so it seems derivative, unfortunately. Jico, I like the loot. I think it is charming. I think that sometimes it's a little cringe, but I think it's just so sweet and interesting, and I really like the perspective on it. I enjoyed it, and I watched all 3 episodes when it debuted last Friday. Paul Brunel, I'm not sure about a favorite noir. Maybe Laura, if I had to pick one off the top of my head. There must be better noirs than that, but I mean, that's just the one that comes to mind. There's no D right now. It's very quiet. Freedom Tompkins, as I said in my reaction video to Thor: Love and Thunder, I don't think it could make $1 billion, but I think it could make about 800. I think it probably will have an 8 in front of it, or a 7 if it doesn't get to China. Gino, I think that sometimes when actors tease stuff, like the Blue Beetle actor teasing a Young Justice movie, I think that sometimes they're just trying to put that out there to get fans excited and maybe make the executives do it. I don't know if they're necessarily actually doing those things. Vincent says, when do you think we'll see Moon Knight next? I'm not sure. Maybe Blade, maybe the Halloween special, but I haven't heard anything about it. Scottish Boy says, do you think there is a ceiling for the total amount of subscribers a streaming service can have? Yes, I do, unless they significantly bring the price down. But I think where Netflix is right now and where Disney is approaching is that ceiling at around 220 million subscribers. Yes, my favorite Disney, Ivan, my favorite Disney Plus show to date is Loki. Any streaming shows in July? Who just asked me that? Donna? Let me see here. I'm enjoying Only Murders in the Building, which just started. I'm excited for Harley Quinn to get started, but July is a little soft. A lot of stuff's going to start in August. No, the Nielsen numbers still aren't up, Chris. I don't know what's going on over there. Barbie Minaj says, is it true that Wonder Woman has a cameo in Shazam? Yes, it is. Brett says, any movies this year you think will unseat Top Gun Maverick? Yes, Black Panther 2 I think has a very good shot at it, and Avatar 2. I think those are going to be big movies. And they're both Disney. So Bob Chapek's like, suckers, haha. Jacob, I thought though the Black Panther 2 trailer would be in front of Thor, but it hasn't dropped yet. So I'm not sure. Maybe over the holiday weekend. But I'm thinking maybe Comic-Con at this point. That's very sweet, Chris. I think Nope could be pretty big, Kevin. I'm excited for Jordan Peele's Nope. But remember, his movies have consistently globally made $235 million. They've both made that, I think, like the same amount of money, which is funny. So let's see if he can do a three-peat. Okay, so let me move on to shout-outs. You can just give me a way to interact with you. Just tell me what's going on with you. Joshua says, waiting for my partner to get home from work. It's his birthday. Happy birthday to Joel. Oh, happy birthday, Joel. That's very, I'm glad that you and Joel have been watching me together. Gino says, babysitting while watching your stream. Hello to whoever you're babysitting. Dancing Dog 60s at the office. David says, waiting for my lunch break to start. That's funny. Rodolfo is drinking iced coffee in Texas. Juan, you're eating McNuggets. My favorite sauce is ranch, by far. Steven says, eating mac and cheese after wisdom teeth surgery. Oh, no, but mac and cheese is going to probably make you feel better. Oh, good luck on your student-teacher certification exam tomorrow, Brett. I hope you pass. I'm sure you will. Cosmic Owl is on their lunch break at work. Vincent is about to make some lunch and watch SpongeBob. Oh, that's funny. Who was that? Chris says, currently at work, sneaking on my phone. Don't tell anybody. Paul says, relaxing on vacation in a cabin in New Hampshire. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Oh, that's so great. Thanks for letting me join you on your vacation. Tirth says, preparing to go to bed. Thank you for the earlier stream. My pleasure. Tirth stayed up till like 2:30 or 3 in the morning the other day. So I wanted to make sure I had an earlier stream for you. To our friends in India in that area. Freedom says, I'm eating nachos while watching Stranger Things. Delicious. I got myself some cereal because it's going to be in the morning for Stranger Things. I rarely eat cereal, but I really like Honey Nut Cheerios. So I got myself some Honey Nut Cheerios and 1% milk because usually I don't eat dairy for Friday. Chris, I will not be streaming tomorrow. This is my last stream until the second week of July because I'm taking next week off for streams because of the holiday. Aaliyah says, Grace, appreciate you. Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. I'm arranging flower bouquets around the residence. Oh, that's such a nice thing to do. Happy birthday, Francisco. Rashad says, laying in bed, enjoying a lazy day off with the stream and the boys. Great choice. Chico says, waiting for the Ms. Marvel breakdown. All right, I'll do it before I go and get my salad wrap. Desert Night is about to go to bed in Dubai. What a cool place to live. Blick says, organizing a project for film school and drinking tea. Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, Troy. That's very sweet of you. There are lots of videos going up. That's right. Today I'm getting a delicious salad wrap from Just Salad. I really like their Chipotle Cowboy one. It's so good. But you have to put, instead of the tortilla chips, I get the crispy onions, and I take out the pickled onions because I don't like pickled stuff. I hope I can get it today. Alwatch says, here at home, walking on my tippy toes, talking on the landline while twirling the cord. You're having a real 1960s afternoon. Trisha says, driving to the Hamptons in a few minutes and got to watch your stream first. That's so great, Trisha. Thanks for delaying your trip. I hope you have a great time in the Hamptons. Jico says, I'm craving fries and a Frosty from Wendy's. Delicious. Barbie says, eating popcorn and watching Hacks Season 2 for the first time in Ohio. You know, I didn't love Season 2, but it's still good. I mean, I still watched it. Spying Mentor says, going to start watching The Boys for the first time. You're in for a treat! Let's see here. And Scottish Boy says, I'm about to go out for a walk to see the sun set. Aw, that's so nice. Oh, and Newswriter, you're actually back at work today, which feels like progress. I'm so happy, Newswriter 22, that you have turned a corner, it seems, in your recovery. All right, everybody, I had a lovely time talking to you. Hey, Pastor Madeline. It was so great talking to all of you, and there will be movie math this Sunday. There will be movie math. The next live streams will be starting the second week of July. All right, but thank you for joining me. I had a wonderful time as always. Okay, bye, everybody. Bye-bye.